So, Seda, welcome to my podcast. You are a superstar, but before telling people why I call you superstar, please tell a little bit about yourself and who you are, where you live. Just some normal stuff first, and then let's get into conversation.
Okay, great. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here. So my name is Seda and I live in Dubai. I am 45 years old, but young at heart. And I am single. I have a dog, a French bulldog.
Nice.
That's the love of my life, Bruno. So yeah, I love living here. I love, whenever I can be outdoors in the winter, spending time outdoors. I love cycling. I love eating food. Food is a passion for me. I love cooking as well. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, and what you are doing for a living? Like you have, I think you said you have a pretty interesting business idea or what you are working towards.
Yeah, so I have been in food and beverage industry for over 20 years. My specialization is marketing, innovation, strategy, these kind of things. So yeah, I work at the moment for a company, but I'm also exploring possibly starting my own consulting agency, so I can really do what I'm passionate about and support clients, in areas where they need help.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. No, that sounds so interesting and like to help kind of people. So what kind of services you are about to start or what is your passion about food and how you want to help people?
So my passion is really like having new products in the market, especially when it comes to food and beverages. I think everyone wants to be healthier, they want to take care of themselves, but a lot of times these products are either too expensive or it doesn't fit, exactly what they're looking for. So a lot of people are already doing these solutions at home. So where I'm really passionate about is, I want to work with brands to launch healthier products, that deliver against what consumers are looking for in a value for money kind of way, so they can afford it and they can feel good, buying these products. So like innovating in, for instance, fast food space is not my passion because, I think fast food is great. It's a treat maybe from time to time, but I don't really want to be involved, in the innovation part of that. Yeah. I want to be more on the healthier side of things. So
yeah. Oh, I love it because that's why I'm so passionate and interested about these things because I see so big value what you are doing and this is like how you can maybe help some other people because I like you said fast food industry, it's so big like for most people like now there is coming a lot more like kind of for people who are taking care of their health and it's not for earlier it was for most companies it's just to make, obviously it's a business, they make profits and they don't really, most companies they don't care how healthy or how what kind of products, what kind of quality they have, but they just care that the consumer is that it's tasty, they are consuming it more, so they make more money instead of kind of trying to build that healthier, what actually makes them in the long run feel great. And obviously if you can combine it with that it's tasting actually good and with the correct nutritional value, that's something what is like what I see like huge potential and I really hope that your business is starting well and you make what you love to do for your profession too. So
thank you.
Tell a little bit about your personal story about like exercise and nutrition wise, like what kind of struggles you had in the past.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting because my business idea is also very much inspired by my personal journey. So I've always I've always been chubby, let's say, for majority of my life. I had ups and downs, I lost about 20 kg maybe 10 years ago. And then slowly, 10 of it started coming back after I actually kept it off maybe for 6-7 years. So I kept it off for a very long time, but then due to stress and a lot of different things, it started coming back on. And at that time I didn't really work out. I didn't go to the gym for a long time, and I was even ordering delivery. Although I love to cook, I didn't really have the energy. So it's always been a struggle, to balance what to eat and how to burn. And I've been really yo-yo dieting a lot. Also, I've done keto a couple of times. I think first time I was very successful. I dropped like 10 kg in, I don't know, 2 months, something like this. Very happy, but eventually you start to crave, carbohydrates. And, the more I craved, and the more I limited, the more I craved. So eventually you give in, because when you go out, for instance, you cannot always eat vegetables and protein and fat, it's very limiting. Also alcohol, there's a lot of things that I couldn't really enjoy. And I think it should be part of my life. So I've been really looking for a way how I can eat everything in moderation and still reach my goals, lose the fat, lose weight, and feel good in my body. I don't want to be a supermodel. This is not my intent. But I want to feel good. When I put on a dress, I want to feel good in it, So it's been a real struggle for many years, but I'm really, really happy, where I am. We'll get into that, I'm sure, more deeper. But, I can definitely see, the change in my habits and how I'm adapting to my new lifestyle. And it really feels good.
Yeah, no, because this is something what kind of paid my attention is that you said that it was successful doing keto. Like you got that end result, you lost 10 kilos, you were like, wow, it went even fast. But if you like, this is what I don't count it as a success. If even you get that end goal, like you have that, like if you like, with your background, you have been yo-yo dieter. It's a big thing is that the number on the scale. But if you are not, because for me to be successful, it's not only like that to get that results, like, because, most of the people, they know how to lose weight. It's not, its methods are like, there are several of them. It's actually very simple. You either have some kind of rules, what you like, you didn't eat carbs, then it led that you were just when you told yourself that I can't have those, it actually didn't, like, obviously you can do it for a short period of time, but then in the long run, it's that if you tell to yourself that you can't have something, you start to crave it even more and more and more, and it's not successful, because for me it's usually only a matter of time before you will eat it. And then when you do, it's not that you go back in with moderation. It's then that now kind of like that, fuck it, and give me everything, that I'm out of here. Is that something what was in your, have you ever thought that it was actually even you had that success in the beginning, but then if you think it now where you are now, that what you would say to your old self, like, who thought that, wow, I made so big progress that...
No, for sure. I think, the whole diet industry is obviously, chasing the short-term wins. And I think a lot of us get sucked into that. And I was one of them. I did the cabbage soup diet, you drink cabbage soup for like a week, and of course you lose weight. But then I couldn't look at a cabbage, after that. So I would definitely tell myself, like, those things don't work because they are not sustainable. I believe all food is created for us to enjoy, in our lifetime. And you just have to do it moderately, And when you do it moderately, your body adjusts to that, and your brain is not then craving, and you're not binging, because you're allowing yourself to eat those things. So definitely, now I look back, definitely that wasn't a success.
I hope it makes kind of sense, because this is like because this is what I always love to, like, because there are many ways, like, people ask my opinion or somebody's opinion, what do you think about keto, like, and then you are like, okay, I know a friend, or I saw somebody in social media had a big success, losing a lot of weight, or maybe they use some other rules like skipping breakfast, limiting eating times, whatever rules you make for yourself. You eliminate completely some food group from your diet or single foods, and then because you should not be allowed, and then when you are using those kind of rules for yourself, and then when it happens that you happen to break those rules at some point, then you feel like a kind of failure, that I kind of missed the whole thing, or I couldn't hold myself, and now then it's like that, okay, I try again in a month or something. Maybe that time I will be able to actually stick with those rules. But if you are like, even if it happens once in your life, I would say that what are chances that it's going to work actually at some point, that it's going to be also in the long term. And that is, I think that's the hardest part mentally, to kind of think yourself that this is not a race. This is not a race. Who is the winner, is that who is losing weight the fastest. Obviously we all want to have fast results, but this is like sooner you understand that this is a lifelong journey. It's not that there is no deadline or finish line, that it's because then usually the question is that what you are going to do after you reach your goal, that how you are going to do. And this is a question what most people, they don't have the answer. Then I just eat more, but eat what you are going to eat. So what kind of beliefs you had before? Like, did you have some kind of rules for yourself when you were kind of in that dieting, and you said that you followed some kind of keto or something? Did you have some kind of beliefs about food?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest belief is, fruit. I wasn't really allowing myself to eat fruit because it was, sugar. So even it has natural sugar, I was told, yeah, you shouldn't really eat fruit because it's going to make you fat. What else? Yeah, carbohydrates for sure. They were out. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, it was just based on, I think protein has always been good. I always knew that. Fiber, like that was kind of underrated for me. So I didn't really understand the importance of fiber, So I would eat foods, but then because I didn't have the fiber, I wouldn't feel full, So I think the biggest things were around sugar. Definitely no candy, no ice cream, chocolate, things like that, fruit, and overall the carb, category being cut. Yeah. And after years of, believing that, it really destroys your, your way of looking at food. So you start to categorize food, good food, bad food. And that's not really right. Now I understand that.
Yeah. So how when you had that kind of old beliefs, like you said, that it's very hard to get rid of these kind of rules, what you have, like if you have believed something for, let's say, 20 years, and then somebody is telling that maybe it's not the way you have always thought, that maybe there is some truth, but maybe all of it's not how I'm used to believe. So what made you change for that kind of those old beliefs, that what was kind of changing, or how you did it?
So, okay, I think your body tells you a little bit what's wrong, because like the first time I did keto, very good. I stuck to it 100%, great results. Second time, probably second day or third day, I already broke it, the diet. Third time, even worse. The first day, I couldn't even, at night, I started craving sweets. So then I said, whatever. Then I broke it. So then I started blaming myself, and I said, oh, you don't have willpower. So I started beating myself up because I thought it was a matter of my willpower. But then I understood it has nothing to do with willpower. So if I have the willpower to wake up at 5:30 and go to the gym, I have willpower.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't about willpower. It was about the fact that I couldn't sustain that, because it's so much pressure when you go out to a restaurant and your friends are enjoying, everything, and you're just looking at the fries or the rice, or, and you're not able to, and you're you become a freak a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I didn't want that. You know, I wanted to enjoy. If I'm going out, I want to enjoy. And I don't want to be stressed out about food all the time. So I think that's when I realized, okay, I need to work on these beliefs because I need to change the way I look at food. I don't want to live the rest of my life, you know, just on certain foods. So I think that was the main realization for me, that I had to change something.
Yeah, no, that's a very big realization. But have you ever, when you went out with your friends or something, did you ever blame like that? What is wrong with those people, like that? Why they can have, and but if I eat, I'm not allowed to eat. That why, how it's how those other people are? Were you comparing kind of yourself with other people, or?
No,
Or
not really. Not really.
not
I
really?
think my
Okay.
thing has always been with me. So I never said, oh, why are they enjoying and I'm not, you know? I just knew my priority was being thin. And, you know, this also, I just want to make a little parenthesis here. This was never really an issue for me, but, you know, I have had relationships where I was judged for my weight.
Okay,
And I think that sticks with you, you know?
yeah.
And I'm getting over that now, but it's still with me. There are times that I still say, oh, why would that guy date me? Because, you know, maybe I'm not really thin for him, you know? So these things really get started in your brain. So I've always struggled with my own self, you know? So it was never against other people.
Yeah. So it was kind of probably like kind of trauma from past, what you were not maybe even realizing, that there was like somebody have made some comment, maybe they didn't mean it that way, but you turned it like that way, how you kind of want to hear it or want to put it, that I'm not good enough if I'm not in whatever, maybe you had your number in your head, how much weight you should be having, or I don't know what kind of thing, but it's actually, it's very common that there is some kind of trauma. It could be coming like from you, maybe it was from a previous partner. For somebody else, it's maybe somebody who you love, like from parents, or somebody's making some comments about the way how you look, and that is kind of sticking into your mind that I'm not good enough. So that probably was that kind of situation where you had like that, but were you aware of this, or is this like, did you become this realization only after?
I think I was always aware of it. I was always aware of it, but I didn't know how deep this has impacted me. I mean, I thought, okay, it happened in the past and I'm over it, but I was really never over it, you know? And that dictated everything in my life. And honestly, my weight became my life, you know, and that's very dangerous because then I realized, you know what, I'm more than my weight.
Oh yeah.
I have
Yeah,
a lot to
definitely.
offer other than my weight, you know? So,
Yeah.
but of course that happens also with a lot of like self-development. You know, I've been doing a lot of that as well. Like I'm meditating, you know, I'm kind of journaling. I'm trying to make peace with the past because that's the only way to move forward.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think integrating healthy habits now into my life has helped tremendously get over that belief, you know?
Yeah, it's really like when you really, it takes, obviously it takes some work, but when you go really deep, what is in deep inside, like what have affected, like obviously there are so many things what have affected, what have happened in the past, what you probably don't even realize, and when you have that kind of beliefs there, and then to get over it, it's a lot easier said than done. But when you really work on those things, and this was for me like personally, when I was like thinking like also that why I'm doing this, what is important for me, and you know, it's when you do like what I always tell, for example, my clients, to start with your beliefs, why you are actually doing this. And when I was like why I should be doing, I'm also kind of a guy who always you know, if I make promise for myself, I will keep it. There is no question. It doesn't matter what it takes. But that probably is coming from my background as a professional athlete. There was like, when there is a workout, there is a workout, and it's not I'm not talking myself out of it. And but when I went really deep on those things, it all came down to like, probably I have missed the love of from my dad, what I was craving, and I was trying to kind of prove him that whatever I do, that I'm enough for him. and that was like so empowering, at least knowing it, and then using that kind of my motivation. And if I ever don't want to go, or it happens actually very often, that I don't feel like working out, I remind myself how he was, and he unfortunately passed away a couple of months ago, only at the age of 70, with several health issues. And that's my motivation. I don't want to end up for same situation, and helping people that they don't have to suffer like he did. And this is kind of all kind of self-development, what actually is then that ultimate motivation for you to keep doing what you are doing. And that's why I love that you have actually took time and went a little bit deeper on those things. So what you said that it was affecting to your social life, like when you went out with the friends and you didn't allow yourself to really like enjoy the moment, avoiding foods, avoiding drinks. How that everything have changed now when you have created or found new ways to think?
So I'll be honest. So I think the key is to find balance, because that was extreme. Yeah, I was going out, but I wasn't enjoying. Now the extreme is you don't go out, right? And I think when I first started with you, I was so committed, to making an impact, and I kind of minimized my social life, to be honest, because I was so keen to make sure I was sticking to my workouts and I was tracking my calories, and and going out, obviously it makes it easy. I mean, it makes it difficult, right, to track everything. So, and I wasn't drinking, so I quit alcohol for a while. For like 3 months, I didn't consume alcohol. So, but then you get the results, and I'm very happy. So in 4 months, I lost 9 kg, which is like extremely great for me. And not only I'm losing the weight, but I'm feeling better. There's a lot of different benefits that came with it. My clothes fit better. So I know I'm getting leaner as well, which is important. But then I was kind of missing out on the social life, right? So I think 2-3 weeks ago, I started going out. But now I'm kind of following your tips also when I go out. So I make sure I eat something, with protein before. So I'm not kind of starving when I get there. And then I ordered wine. So I had a glass of wine, but I drank a lot of water and I sipped slowly, which is, I still enjoyed the wine, but I wasn't drinking like before, 3-4 glasses a night. And then I ordered what I wanted to eat. I ate slowly. I enjoyed it. So now I'm trying to find that balance where I'm going out, but I'm also sticking to my habits. I don't want to be hungover and then skip my workout. So I think that's the key, where I'm trying to find that balance now.
No, because this is the finding that kind of it's really like, because we are all like thinking like that there is an other shoulder, is that devil saying that I want enjoyment, and the other side is telling that no, but you want to feel in a long run. And this is like really that realization to come, that you can actually have both, that there is that kind of balance, that you can have both. But obviously it's and if it sometimes that maybe that enjoyment part is winning, because it will, if it haven't happened yet, it will happen probably, that you will not stick with your 1 glass of wine, it will be that 4 or 5 or whatever. But then it's part of being human, and then but the only difference is that if you really think it, that how you are going to respond it, and what you are going to do after, and what is the only difference is that how fast you are getting back on that routine what you had, and that is what is changing. And this is what we talked like earlier, is that now you are at the point that you have lost a lot of weight, and I don't know, do you have still goal to lose more weight, or is this now, are you now like kind of at the situation that you are where you want to be, or do you have still some kind of goals?
I would like to lose maybe about 5 more. But this is like the trophy weight for me to lose. So even if I stay at my current weight, I'm happy, and just, getting stronger on this weight, I think is good. But eventually I'd like to lose 5 more. I think that would be my ideal place.
But how you feel like that when you want to, do you have now, what is, because this is always like that, what is kind of most important thing at the moment, because now you know that how you can lose it. But then if you want to lose it, it also probably means that it's going to mean a little bit less enjoyment, as that losing that weight. It's not, to be honest, it's not just some dancing with the roses, that it's going easily, because there you have to sacrifice obviously from something. And at this point, how you feel like that? What is the current goal? What you have?
So I think like mentally, I want to be in the right place to commit, losing that extra, 5 that I want to lose. And at the moment, there's a lot of stress and, let's say, uncertainty, around, the current work situation, but also building this new business, there's a lot of like new things I'm learning, which is great, but also it's generating a lot of anxiety and stress at the moment. So I think what I'm feeling good with at the moment is just kind of just cruising. If I can cruise at my current weight, just sticking to my habits for a little while until I sort things out, I think that will be better for me, because it gives me the mental freedom, that, okay, I can still indulge and enjoy, but, it doesn't mean I will fall off the wagon. Definitely not. But also, I don't want to stress myself, around the calorie counting and everything as well. So it's kind of a compromise at the moment,
Yeah. No, because this is like what I like it. If I understood right, like at the moment you still have some weight what you ideally want to lose, but at this moment you are in a point that you don't mind if you just maintain your weight and be where you are and actually learn how to maintain that lost weight. Because this is something.
The risk is, and this I see it coming if I do it like that, is I will say, you know what, I will commit to losing 5 kg, and I will go at it, but with everything else happening, then, I'll wake up and maybe I don't feel like working out, so I'll skip a workout, and then it becomes 2 workouts, and then it builds additional stress, and guess what, then I will quit. Because I know myself, if I push so hard, then I will quit, and I don't want to quit.
Yeah, no, and that's why, like what I hear and see that at this point, like now I think it's if there is a good time to kind of stop dieting and learning to how to maintain it and keep it off with the strategies you have learned, and maybe getting rid of them and seeing how things are going. So this is what I would say, that now at this point, and because there are so many like mental aspects, you have been doing this like 3-4 months, which is actually very long time to be in a deficit and trying to lose weight in a one time. And now if you say that, okay, at this situation, probably the smartest decision what to make is to actually learn how to maintain it. And then who knows how long it is, maybe it's a month, maybe it's 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, who knows. And then when you are still, let's say in 4 months from now, you are in a situation that now there is a better time, there is a less stress, and now you have showed yourself that you can actually maintain your lost weight and build those, keeping up those habits what you have created yourself, working out and prioritizing protein and all that stuff, and learning how to deal with the social situations. And then when you are maybe in a better situation, then it's okay, now it's time to focus again for, let's say, month 2 for losing weight and see how that goes. And then, because it's not, this is not the journey there is a deadline like that. Now there's 5 more kilos, I have a 2 more months time. It doesn't change anything if it's in 2 months, if it's in 6 months. And because ultimately when I'm sure that you will lose at some point that last 5 kilos, what is still missing, obviously it probably will be a lot harder than it was those first 9 kilos. But when you get to that point, then you are like, what is next? There is no, like how we are happy when we reach some goal, but then when you reach it, you are like maybe couple hours you are happy, and then you are like, what is the next? And this, I feel like that for you at this point, it's the challenge is to, and it's kind of giving so much mental freedom also when you tell to yourself that you don't have to lose. Your goal is with purpose to maintain your weight, that you don't even want to lose weight at the moment.
Exactly. It gives you a lot of freedom. But also I have to say I'm really enjoying the journey because I'm changing, And I just want to give you the example this morning because, last night I went out with a friend. I haven't seen her in many months. Definitely had more than a glass of wine. And, we had a tasting menu because new restaurant, great chef. So I said, let's go for it. So this morning I woke up. So first I slept less, right, than my usual. So that was one difference for sure. I woke up, weighed myself. I was 1 kg higher. Now, in the past, what I would have done is just beat myself down all day long, skip breakfast, skip lunch. And then I would just be upset with myself, why am I heavier today? You shouldn't have gone out. You shouldn't have had the wine, just this constant punishment. But this morning I caught myself and I said, no, we're not doing that. So I actually had my regular breakfast. I'm going to have my regular lunch. I'm drinking a lot of water. And I said to myself, it was great. I really enjoyed it. It was amazing food, amazing company. And it's okay, So today is my rest day. It just happened to be my rest day. But tomorrow morning, I'm going to go to my workout. If I feel like it, maybe I might go also today for just a little cardio. I can do that if I feel like it. But it's okay, to have these up and downs. And that's like a huge learning for me about myself. And the fact that I'm changing for the better,
Yeah. No, I love it. That's the best example. Like, because that is what I wanted to ask, that how you were able to break, like how it means that you were breaking that kind of yo-yo dieting cycle. Like and these are all things like that, like in the past, like if that you are so focused on that scale weight, if you think like that, if you are like inside of you, that it was kind of not right thing, or it was not the most optimal thing for your diet or for your weight loss goal. But if you think like realistically what just happened, it's just that you enjoyed seeing a friend for after a long time, having a tasty menu, having some alcohol beverages, and what happened, what caused it, and you probably have a little bit more food in your stomach, which is again storing a little bit more water, and it's nothing like you are not gaining 1 kilo fat in a one day. Like it's just that water weight, and the worst things what you have done is in the past, like that you kind of punished yourself with the things you are, and then I know was it in the past like that, because this is kind of that's repeating cycle, like you are restricting yourself, you are not allowing yourself to eat foods, then you are craving something, like you are getting hungry, and then when you eat a lot more, and it's not that you might lose that scale weight, but it's you put into yourself into that cycle over and over again. Was this what this happened in the past, right?
Of course. But I think that's when you realize, wow, I'm growing up, I'm not reacting the same as I used to, because I know better now. I have the strategies, thanks to you, that I know how, to perceive that and not get derailed by it. Because guess what? I have goals. Today I am working on my business, I'm working on things. And the last thing I need is that cloud over my head, like bashing me. Why did you drink? Why did you eat? You don't need that in your life. So it's okay. It happened. I enjoyed it. And now let's look forward, and just stick to the habits. It's really a game changer. It's a game changer because that's when you start to change, who you are and how you react to things.
Yeah. And how it is then, what were like in the past, like what kind of changed everything, what methods, what you were doing, what were helping for you to change this kind of cycle and break this cycle, like when we started to work together, what was giving you that freedom where you are now?
I think it was just, like it was kind of a program, but it wasn't too strict, and I think that's key when especially you're starting out, I think we agreed, okay, let's do, I don't know, twice a week strength training, And I think that was also a main difference between the coaches I had before. It was a lot of cardio focused. And changing that to strength training, that really changed a lot of things, in terms of how I do the workouts and how I show up, in terms of my motivation. And like, you didn't force me, like you have to also do cardio 3 days, but just naturally, I felt like complementing my workouts. So I threw in like 2 cardio sessions. But that came from me, not from you. And that was a game changer because I didn't feel forced, and that motivated me. So I think that was really one area with the workouts, and also the workouts changing all the time. That's really good because you don't get bored. I think a lot of people get bored, with the workouts and they quit. And that happened to me also before. So it's really challenging my body on different days in different ways, which is great. And then on the food part, you just gave me 2 basic rules, stay under your calorie deficit number and get your protein. And the rest, I don't care how you get it. And that was also like, wow, so liberating,
Yeah, no, because it's really like because there could be so many different approaches, and what I like to like, if I like why this is what I believe is the best way to do it is like, especially like when you contact me, you said that you have a history of starting something, and it's usually it's like a 2 weeks, 3 weeks maximum, then you are quitting, and you were like really suspicious, like that, are you going to hold this? And then when you were like that, how many times a week? I don't know what you said in the beginning, but I bet it wasn't 2 times a week. It was like a 3, 4. At least I have to do 3, 4. And I said, what if we start with the 2 and then stick with that for first month and see that you are consistently doing. I'm not telling that you are not allowed to do more if you feel like doing it, but there's a so big difference mentally. If you aim for 4 workouts in a week, you are able to do 3. Most of the people feel really guilty about that one workout, what they are missing. But if you are aiming for 2 and you are doing something extra, you get the 3rd workout in, then you are like, holy shit, I kept promises what I made for myself and did even something extra. So in the end, you do same amount of workouts, but you are feeling totally different about yourself. So this is why I always love to start, especially with the people who have struggles with the consistency, starting a bit less than originally they think it's possible, and then step by step adding more. And it's kind of same thing with the food wise. Like, you could give perfect macros, how many carbs, how many fats, what kind of meals to eat. But my goal is always like that. I want that all ideas, I give you some kind of guidelines. Hopefully I gave you some kind of strategies, how to get that more protein, how to stick with your calories. But it's ultimately all those things, what you decide that are going to work for you, you make that decision. So I'm kind of helping you finding your own way, but not that giving you rules, that because we are all different. We don't have somebody, if you don't enjoy naturally eating carbs, I don't have any issue. You can eliminate carbs, you feel great about it, you can imagine to do it 5 to 10 years from now, no problem. But if you are like, there's nobody else who knows you better than yourself. You have been living in your body, like you 45 years, me 41, and we kind of know what could be working for us, and then it's all about trying how this strategy is going to work for me. And then if it works, great. Then you have any other issues, then we move for next thing, and step by step kind of getting those things. And those like you said, that protein was the key part, what you weren't like, even you knew that it was important, but you didn't know how much of it you should be eating. Or
Exactly. I mean, I thought, okay, I had 2 eggs, I'm good,
yeah.
And now you have 2 eggs at lunch, and that's, barely. And then I had like cottage cheese to supplement. So compared to now, I was definitely eating not enough protein. And like, I'm also like, I just want to bring this up. I think like meal plans work for some people. It will not work for me. because, you know, I like to cook and I like to combine things myself. So just having that rule, like protein first. So like, for instance, tonight I'm going to make a steak. So I thought, okay, what's my protein? Steak. Then I have my vegetables, you know, and how I want to balance my plate. So I like envisioned it, and I'm just going to execute on it when it comes to dinner. So, you know, you can mix and match. Like, I don't eat chicken, and you never forced me to eat chicken, you know? So that's also freedom, you know, because then you sign up for a program and they tell you, 2 chicken breasts, this and that. Like, I don't want to be forced to eat what I don't like to eat, you know? So that freedom is also amazing. I can combine whatever I want.
Yeah. But how did it, when you started to add more protein, how it affected for your cravings, for everything? Because I remember you said that you were asking in the beginning that, Turo, I'm so full that do I have to eat my calories?
Absolutely. I think that's the first thing I noticed. I just wasn't hungry. And that's weird because, you know, I'm usually hungry. So I thought something's wrong. Like, why am I not hungry? So that was the first thing. And the second thing is the cravings, you know, like the cravings completely disappeared. Completely. So it was like, oh, I have to eat. It's dinner time. And even after dinner, I felt satisfied. So I wasn't craving anything sweet after dinner. You know, and I think that was all the magic of the protein for sure. And I notice it when I don't eat enough protein. I notice the difference because then I start to look around, you know, what's there, what's here, you know. But when you eat protein, it's different.
Yeah, and that is like it's now when you think back, do you ever think like that? It's actually a lot more simpler than you thought, or you made it into your head.
For sure, for sure. I think we overcomplicate things. Definitely, it's so much simpler this way.
Yeah. And now when you like, because if you really think it, like our bodies, they are pretty good at telling us if there is something wrong, or something, you know, you are hungry, you are craving all the time sweets. Usually it's a combination. Like it's now when you know how it feels, how you have felt in the past, and it's for example craving something sweets. It's usually one of these three things. Like it's either missing protein, either missing fiber, or lack of sleep, and it's either one of them. And when you start to fixing those, like starting to actually adding things instead of removing, because we are often like how that weight loss industry is going, or how most of the people, I know about you, but it's all about like taking away things. But if you, what I love to, like what you learned also, it's not actually taking away, it's completely opposite, that you are starting to add things. You are adding protein, you are adding fiber, and which all are leading that you are then craving something less, and in the end you are eating less calories, which ultimately is the goal.
Definitely. And you know, I cannot say I never have cravings because, you know, I've also discovered like I'm an emotional eater, you know. That was the other thing. So there are times that I will crave sweets, and then that's where I have my fruit bowl. So I have some oranges, some apples, you know, they're like washed, ready to go, because at that moment I know that if I have that, it will cut that craving for me. So I don't have to go for the chocolate or the ice cream or whatever. So that's also been like a winning strategy, because we are human, you know, and if you have that craving, I believe you should satisfy it, but just in a maybe a healthier way, you know.
Yeah, it's because that is I love to hear what you are using at the moment, but it's like those are, it's to understand that it's totally normal to have those kind of cravings or something. And it's what I love to say, that it's you should never tell to yourself that I can't. So I always leave that option that you can, but there is always that but. What you have to do, like that is where it comes to your personal rules. Like if for you, I don't know what rules you have, you do you use that, like what I love to use kind of rules like that. I can have, if I want ice cream, I can have ice cream, but I have to eat piece of fruit first, for example. And that is usually, it's the only goal is to win a little bit time between that. It's not immediate thing that it's, you know, you walk by I was in Cara Lake here in Italy, like there is ice cream everywhere, and then, you know, you are seeing like you don't even I didn't feel like that I want ice cream, but then, you know, I see all people are going with the ice cream. There is every 2 meters is somebody selling you ice cream. And then I was like, holy shit, it's a nice warm day. Why I would like to have ice cream. But then it's like that, okay, if I make that decision right away, that I just have one, I could have, but if it happens, like it doesn't happen all the time. But if I give myself that right away, then I was like, okay, I need to wait 5 minutes. Maybe, am I hungry? If I eat first fruit and still want ice cream, then I go for it. But it's really like winning that little bit time and not letting yourself into that craving like right away. And nowadays, you know, if you are bored, for example, what people are doing, like it's nobody wants to be bored. Then, you know, you take your phone out, you start to watch some social media, and you are not bored anymore. You are suppressing that feeling or that emotion. And unfortunately for many people, we are using food in a way to suppress those emotions. So what else strategies do you have for cravings? Are you using any kind of strategies or
I think just drinking water helps. That's how I found, because if I just drink more water, you know, I don't know, I don't have as many cravings. Like another thing is I love coffee. So, you know, in the afternoon when I feel that, you know, slump, you know, your energy, by the way, I don't have those anymore. I mean, really? I have them a little bit still, but not like before. You know, you would have lunch and you would like go down, you know, at 4 o'clock completely like on the floor. I don't have those energy up and downs, but still there's a bit of a dip. So like that's when I will go and enjoy like a nice espresso with some maybe flavor in it. So it gives me like a hazelnut espresso. So it gives me that feeling of like indulging, but I know it doesn't have the same calories, you know, that like a biscuit or something else would have. And if I want, I can still like allow myself, you know, to have like, sometimes I have dates, like one date, you know, because I know dates are like also rich in fiber, they are sweet. So I'll have a coffee and like a date, you know, and that really takes off the edge. So then I don't go for other things.
Yeah.
Oh, so I love it. Yeah, those kind of things work for me. I have a question for you.
Tell me.
Is it true our bodies like respond to food differently based on the order? So like, for instance, what I'm hearing is if you want to eat a sweet thing, eat protein first and then the sweet thing. Like, does that work?
No, there is not really like how it's order of food. It basically doesn't matter. Like how it makes, like, for example, what makes, if you think like I have to tell that I'm a little bit like, I'm a person, I tell about myself, so I'm a person who loves to eat a lot, like a lot of volumes. And I know that I'm usually eating way too fast. So how I'm starting my every meal or dinner, I eat first my vegetables, my salad. I drink a glass of water. So I'm getting that feeling of fullness. Then, you know, if you eat first protein, so obviously protein is what is giving you most that kind of feeling fullness. Like obviously you have to still be able to wait at 15, 20 seconds. But in order of foods, it doesn't matter. Basically, in the end of the day, you take same calories in, and what matters is total amount of calories per day, per week, per year, in a long period of time, and in order what you are taking them. Like if you are like, you could be having, like there is let's say that you are going to eat 500 calories for lunch, and if you are going to have big salad, some kind of like source of carbs, source of protein, and then some dessert, those are 500 calories. If you would change the order and go for start with the dessert, then going for a main meal and then salad after, it's still same amount, and it doesn't matter. There might be some studies that it might be a little bit better, but it's not any significant difference. So basically it doesn't matter in which order you are eating. The only way how it helps is that maybe if you eat something else before, there are good chances that you are going to eat actually less that sweet thing.
Interesting. Okay, great. One more thing I'm curious about, which is about sweeteners. So I'm not talking about like artificial sweeteners, but like natural sweeteners, you know, like erythritol, you know, like for instance, if I want to bake, you know, like a brownie, I've been experimenting with that. You know, I put like bananas because bananas are, you know, healthier than sugar.
Yeah.
But also I add like erythritol instead of like regular sugar.
Yeah.
So you make it, let's say, less calorific, you know, but still tasting good. So just curious, like, I mean, I'm not gonna ask are they good or bad, but like, is it okay to integrate some use of these sweeteners into our kind of our food? Or would you rather still stick to like honey or, you know, more natural sweetening things?
Here is the thing. Like, it's a very good question, by the way, and this is also something what most people, like, you know, you see in social media that artificial sweeteners and that those things, they are bad. They are going to ruin your health, and it's actually, they are pretty well studied at the moment, and there are, if you find some studies that they are really bad for your health, there's to be honest, there's very few studies, or they are all the time making new studies, but what amounts, when you find something like that, they are damaging your health, amounts of, like, let's say that for what is very common is like Diet Coke. Is it better to have that 0-calorie drink or that normal one? And there's like if you have 1 or 2 or 3 per day, there is no issue with it. Then it becomes a problem if you have, like, let's say you have a 100 per day, then amounts of those kind of sweetener things, then it could get dangerous. But if you are having, like, if you are swapping your normal sugar for some sweetener to make it a little bit tastier, that's totally fine. There is no, it's if you think like what are benefits, you are saving a lot of calories from restricting, and if it's still tasty, you enjoy eating it, all those benefits, they are a lot greater than that possible damage what you are doing. And if you are not only eating that kind of stuff, it basically, it doesn't matter, and it's always a lot better option to use that kind of things to make it a little bit tastier. Obviously, if you think like what is the most optimal way, then obviously use natural sources of food, like what are like sweeteners, like honey or any that kind of natural stuff. That is obviously probably the best one, but then it's not, you should not feel guilty about using that kind of, they are totally safe, and there is no proven damage in a long term what you are going to make for yourself.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no, because those are very good questions, and what people are often like, it's like everything we talked, you could, if you want to really optimize everything, there are so many things what you could be doing. And if you listen people in online social media, there is like but most of the people, they are just you know, there is a reason why they tell that something is bad, like, you know, you should be scared of that your blood sugar is spiking, for example. And there is no, it's totally normal thing. Now it's just somebody have made it like that. There is some with if you don't have any diabetes or something, that's totally normal thing. And obviously it could benefit you a little bit to keep it at the same level, like what you are doing, like you are prioritizing fiber, protein, and it's you feel better, that you are not getting too tired. Of course, it's helping, but you should not be scared of it. And how people are making, then they are selling, usually those people who tell that something is totally off, that you should not do it, they have something always to sell. Either they sell some supplement or some kind of product what you don't actually need. Like that is how unfortunately so many people are making their money. They use those insecurities from people to make more money.
True.
So what is you had also pretty interesting, you were on vacation during this, like you lost like you said 9 kilos, feeling better than ever, but you were also on vacation during this time. So tell a little bit about your vacation.
So honestly, it was the first time that I came back from my vacation and I didn't gain weight. Wow. And for me, that was incredible because, you know, I always add on kilos when I go on vacation. And I was definitely nervous going on. And I remember we talked the day before I flew out and you gave me some strategies. But I think the main thing is you left me free. You know, and I remember you said you were going home, eat what your mom cooks, don't stress her as well, you know, with the, you know, restrictions and everything. So that's what I did. You know, I tried everything, I ate everything, and I was initially committed to doing some at-home workouts, but I just couldn't manage. You know, and I was frustrated at the beginning with myself. Like, I made a commitment, I should do it. But then I was doing a lot of like natural activity on the farm. So it was actually fine. I was definitely taking more than 10,000 steps every day, eating, you know, everything, even desserts and, you know, very indulgent things. I was shocked, really. When I came back, I stepped on the scale and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't remember. You know, I couldn't believe, you know, that I didn't gain the weight. So I think that mental break, because, you know, our bodies are very connected, you know, our brain and body is connected. So the more I stressed about this in the past, oh my God, I'm going on vacation, I'm going to gain weight. Guess what? I gain weight. And this time I just let myself free. And I think just that freedom helps your body also relax.
Oh, yes.
And you don't retain water or whatever, you know, and then I started again going down, you know, because I started my workouts and everything. So it was the first time I enjoyed my vacation 100%. Wow. I wasn't freaking out about the food. And thank you for really giving me that freedom.
Yeah, no, because this is something like what most people like, you know, they think that should I do this as there's vacation coming and I'm not going to, I want to enjoy also that I start then after, and you are kind of pushing the start or something, because most of the people like during it's possible. And you know, you work different, like maybe in vacation, your goal should not be on a diet. You should be enjoying like you did. And then what matters is that you are getting back on track, and there are those like few strategies what you could be using to not make it like still being able to enjoy, but still being able to maintain your progress even you don't work out. And that is often what usually I don't realize, that if you don't feel like working out or you are like not quite sure, then better probably not even plan it, to not feel that guilt, to miss some workout what you know that most likely you won't be doing anyway if you stay active and enjoy doing other things. And how you, when you come back, then you are even actually even more motivated to get back on track and keep working out like you do on a daily basis.
Definitely. And you remember, it got even worse because I came back and I got sick. Yeah. And then I was sick for 2 weeks, and you know, but like, you could have also done, you know, you need to get back to the gym. You need to get back to the gym. And you never did that. Like, you understood I was in no shape to go to the gym. I was really, I think I had COVID again. But ultimately, you know, when the time came, I remember I was on the couch and I just felt this urge, you know, I'm good, I'm healthy. You know, I can go back to the gym now. So I think freedom does something like a reverse psychology to people, you know. Because if you push people, it's like kids, you know, then we start to scream and shout and, you know, say, no, I'm not going to do it. But the moment you let me free, then I felt it. Okay, it's time, you know, now let's go. Let's start, you know.
Yeah, no, I love it. This is how you, it's often easier said than done. But this is the way how, you know, we are still like, it's up to your choices. Obviously, if you keep using that excuse for too long, then it would be probably my job today that now it's time to get off from that couch. But if you are having some severe symptoms, you don't feel well, so try doing it. Try doing one set of one exercise. See how you feel. If it feels good, do a second set. And then if it starts to feel like it's getting too much, then stop it. So this is like, or go for a walk, like small kind of things what you can do. And then if it feels that it's too much, then, you know, you kind of kept promise what you made for yourself, but you didn't push yourself too much. And this is also kind of like listening your body instead of your head. And that is the hardest thing to do.
100%.
So, last question before we have to stop. I think we could talk hours, but what was like accountability part. Like this is something what most people like. Imagine if you wouldn't have somebody to keep you accountable. Like what do you think would happen, or how accountability was able to help you?
That's a good question. I think accountability starts with you. But I think having you there, first of all, is I just feel like I have support always, you know. So and that's liberating. You know, the ups and downs and whatever. We are human, we're friends. And it's just good to have you there. And I know you got my back, you know, and that's like, I know, like how can I say it? Like, I know you're there to keep me accountable, but first I need to keep myself accountable.
Yes.
You know, so it starts with me. And that's when I really realized, you know, you need to stick to your promises. And now I really say to myself, if I promise something, I do it. And if I'm not going to do it, I will not promise myself, because I don't want to be lying to myself, you know? So I think this whole thing taught me that, you know, accountability starts with me, but obviously having you there is also keeping me accountable, because I know you're seeing my workouts, you know, you see what I'm doing, you see my evolution, my progress, and you're challenging me, you know? It's not like, okay, everything is good, let's keep it going like this. No, like you're challenging me, you're asking me, okay, next time workouts, what are we doing, you know? So that's also pushing me to become better.
No, that's the key. Like, and if you really think it, like it's just, it don't have to be like, obviously I'm a coach, but it don't have to be a coach. Like I'm doing with the friends now. Like we were on vacation, and my childhood friends, they said that they need to start. Other one was like 3 years, didn't do anything except lead. Other one that it's 20 years ago, and since then haven't done anything. And now we just have some WhatsApp group. We are posting just workouts when we have done it. And this is kind of that you see that other ones are doing, like that. It's you know, expectations, like that what you are doing, like it's when you surround yourself with the people who are like that person what you aim to become, and it's kind of normal thing to do that workout and seeing that, okay, shit, that person did it also, I need to push myself. And these are like, it's just some ways to make yourself to do more often those things what you really know that you should be doing.
Very true. And I just want to add one last comment. Having said that, I know accountability starts with me, but if I didn't have you, I wouldn't be where I am today. And that I have to be fully admitting to, because yes, I have willpower. Yes, I can do things. Yes, you know, I'm dedicated and ambitious and committed, but this health wellness thing and this lifestyling and sustainable approach is something I've always struggled with. So I knew it was beyond me. And that's where you came in and fit perfectly, you know, and gave me the guidance for me to be accountable, you know, for my own progress. So thank you for that.
No, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm honored to say that I can call you a friend. And now, hopefully, after this interview, you understand why I said that Seda is a superstar, and she's really, really changed her life, and not because of me or anything. She have done it by herself. I haven't done any workout for her, and she have done all by herself. And I know there are many days that you didn't feel like doing it, but you still were able to do it. So huge congrats for your success for the past, and I can't wait to see how your new maintenance phase is going and what kind of goals like you will have in future and what everything is coming up.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, to wrap up, do you have any, like, if you want to share something where people can follow you, contact you, if they have questions, or if you want to share anything, feel free to do it. And
yeah, anytime. I mean, I'm pretty active these days on social. So definitely, if you know, I'm always there, you know, to I don't know, we can always inspire each other, you know.
Yeah. No, what is your social media handle, like Instagram and TikTok?
So on Instagram, it's Ragazza Turca 77, and it's Gourmet Next Door on TikTok.
I will add those links in show notes, and please make sure to check out Seda. She's sharing tips her morning. Like, I'm a big fan of watching her morning talks and how she's feeling, and this is really like resonates for many of you if you listen to this episode until now. So go to check her out and show her some love.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening, and talk to you soon.